collaboratively building the story together. We have no idea what's going to happen. The only one thing we do know tonight, it's going to be a romp no matter what. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a tabletop RPG, so we have some framework, some rules, and we have a game master to kind of keep us on task and the story moving, and we're the best in the business. It's John Serpico.
Hi, hello. So, yes, this is a role-playing game, which means that we build things collaboratively. These great improvisers will be playing their characters. I will be playing all the other characters. It's that interaction that builds a lot of the world. Also, we roll dice in this game, and those dice will adjudicate kind of what happens as well. So let's talk about the dice and the rules, because that'll allow everyone to follow. So the rules here are very simple for this role-playing game. There is only one stat, a single number between 2 and 5. If that number is very low, you're really good at feelings, like intuition, diplomacy, unplanned action. If the number is high, it means you're really good at lasers, which means you're good at science, medicine, and planned action. If it's in between, it's in between. So again, low number, feelings, high number, lasers. I'm going to assign Zlobs a 2, Mindy, Mindy's not here, Darby a 3, and Morgan a 4. So anyway, as I said,
hold on, you just changed the system on us.
I got a little more to explain. Hold on.
Okay. Sorry.
Whenever the outcome of something is uncertain, we're going to roll one, count 'em one, 6-sided die. If it's a feelings roll, you're going to want to roll that die to be equal to your stat or above. So again, Zlobs has a 2, which means that Zlob's going to succeed on a feeling roll on a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Oh, it's off.
If it's a lasers roll, you want that die to be low. And again, so for Morgan is going to, win on a lasers roll for a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1. That's pretty good odds. I will remind you of this every time we roll the dice. Also, you're normally just going to be rolling one die. However, you will get a bonus die if you're doing something your character is good at. And you'll also get another bonus die if you've had some time to prepare. So you can roll a maximum of 3 dice. But most of the time, it's just 1. And if you succeed, then 1 success means you barely succeed. If you're rolling a couple of dice and you get 2 successes, that means you really succeed. And if you get 3 successes, that means you succeed critically and great stuff happens. Also, if you roll your number exactly, it's something called a laser feelings, which means you get to succeed. And you could ask me any question at all.
Wow.
And that's the whole game.
That's the whole game. Wow. Okay. That's the rule set that we've been doing for 40 episodes. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, chat.
This is exciting.
Oh yeah. So are we ready?
Hold on. Can we get Mindy's number for the record?
Mindy is also a 4.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm the worst at lasers. Interesting.
It's because you're so good at feelings.
Oh, is he good at feelings? We'll find out.
Feelings insofar as unplanned actions.
Oh yeah, okay, then 100%.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, this is Little League. This is episode 41. This is Lasers and Feeling powered today. Usually powered by the apocalypse, we're powered by lasers and feelings. I'm excited. It's a romp. Enjoy, everyone.
All right, here we are. Zlobs, Darby, and Morgan, the 3 of you are the crew of the interstellar scout ship Sunflower. And you are currently at the rendezvous point. Who is the pilot of the Sunflower?
Oh, that would be Darby.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Darby, you are you're waiting. The Sunflower is kind of sitting parked in the vast inky blackness of space. Stars, distant phenomena. And you're just kind of sitting and waiting and watching the sensors, because this rendezvous point is going to be the point where the Sunflower meets an uncrewed cargo drone. Inside this cargo drone that is being sent directly to your location to expressly link up with the Sunflower has something in it. That cargo drone has inside of it a piece of technology with the code name Umpire. Your job is to rendezvous with the drone, transport Umpire on board, and deliver Umpire to League Command at Starbase Dugout.
Starbase Dugout.
Starbase Dugout.
Roger.
That sounds easy.
So there is, Darby, a ping on your sensors. You just see like a whoop, 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 whoop. However, I'm gonna make you roll a lasers roll here, because you're sitting, you are waiting for this exact thing, but something about this sensor blip is a little weird. So I'm going to give you one die because you always get one. I'm going to give you a second die because this is something you're good at. You are the pilot and you are doing pilot related things. So 2 dice, and since this is a lasers roll, you want to roll a 3 or lower.
I got a 3 and a 1.
Perfect. That's 2 successes. That's full success. And you're going to get a question on top of that. So I'm going to describe what you see, and then we can save the question for afterwards. The ping on your sensor is not one big thing. It is several small things. The sensor is picking it up as a cloud, specifically a cloud of debris. Specifically a cloud of debris that's kind of whipping through space at, thousands of miles an hour towards you.
What kind of debris is it? Is it like from another ship? Is it organic? Or what could it have come from?
Yeah, so, very quickly the sensors are kind of flat in front of you on a screen, but you kind of drag them up and it becomes this augmented reality 3D situation. Sunflower sitting in the middle and you're kind of scanning and enhancing. And yeah, you're picking it up and the sensor suite. Actually, let's go ahead and talk about the Sunflower for a second. There are 2 advantages it has. And since Darby, you've already gotten to roll once, we're going to have Zlobs and Morgan do the advantages here. So the advantages of the Sunflower will come from this list. The Sunflower is fast, nimble, well armed, powerful shields, superior sensors, cloaking device, or fighter craft, which is to say it has a hangar and in it is a fighter. So I want each of you to pick one and tell me what it is.
Fighter.
All right. The Sunflower has a fighter craft in a hangar on board. And Morgan, what's the other one?
I'm gonna say that it's also has powerful shields. So
yes,
when things get dicey, we turn on the shields and we send Zlobs out for fighting.
That's right.
Now, unfortunately, the Sunflower has one drawback to it because of its prototype design. It's either a fuel hog, which is constantly burning through fuel, or it has horrible circuit breakers. We are going to go ahead and let the chat decide. So Zlobs, if you want to throw a poll in the chat, we'll have them do that while I talk about what you're seeing on sensors. So Darby, you're kind of looking and scanning and enhancing, and the Sunflower is, despite its charming name, a scout, kind of an advanced scout warship. It's meant for stealth incursions where it can get somewhere quick, it can drop off a fighter to do something, it can cover the fighter with powerful shields, and it can get out of there. So it's a really unique design. But the trick with it is it is a prototype, And so, oh my goodness, it is becoming very clear what people want.
6-0 right now.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna let this thing play its course.
Okay.
We have learned from previous
chat.
episodes that sometimes the chat changes their opinion at the last second with disastrous consequences. So anyway, you're looking at the advanced sensor suite of the Sunflower, and you're zooming in on the debris, and it is very clear that this is non-organic matter. This is you're seeing bits of hull plating, kind of sprays of, rapidly frozen liquid coolant and all of these things. In short, a person-made craft exploded somewhere nearby, and a wave of debris is emanating from that explosion point and heading towards the Sunflower.
Okay, it's time to put the shields up. Morgan?
I'm on it.
Hey,
Zlobs,
Morgan,
come in.
what do you do on board? Are you a doctor, an engineer, an explorer, a scientist, a soldier, or a diplomat?
A diplomat.
Yes, indeed. So
I wear many hats, but that's what I came on the board of this ship for.
Exactly. Yeah, you are the diplomat, so your official title is Envoy Woodstock.
Oh, that's so good.
Envoy
so
Woodstock.
yeah,
so
Darby up in the command pod, calls out to you, and you're on it to start raising the shields. So your shields are up. Darby, so that's what Morgan's doing. Darby, what did you tell Zlobs to do?
I'm gonna tell Zlobs, it's time to get in the fighter. I need you to go take a closer look and see if you can find what kind of craft was just destroyed out there, so we know if something's trying to come to get us.
Yeah, roger that. This is Zlobs. A computer. Please arm the math wagon.
Math wagon is armed and fueled.
Hey, computer. Reheat burrito.
Burrito internal temperature 40 degrees. External
right.
temperature 300 degrees.
Let's burn this.
Zlobs, in addition to piloting the math wagon, are you a doctor, an engineer, an explorer, a scientist, or a soldier?
Oh, a soldier.
Yep. Perfect. So, with that, the bay doors of the Sunflower open, and the math wagon kind of pops out. Zlobs is in there, like pressurized combat suit. You fly through the shield barrier, and
computer.
You head off towards the debris.
Computer, run a scan of the sector.
Sector is scanned. Debris. No organic compounds found.
Okay, we're gonna go take a closer look.
Sure. Let's have you roll. This will be a lasers roll, so you're going to want to roll low. This is something you have planned for. So you've planned for this, in that you have often flown around in a fighter to get a closer look at things. So I'll give you a second die.
4 and 5.
4 and a 5. So I will. What I will do is, let's have fun with it. So you're kind of whipping around in the math wagon. The math wagon's a pretty advanced fighter, and it's got micro missiles and all kinds of cool stuff. And its scanner system isn't as robust as the Sunflower's, but you're right up close, and you're kind of sweeping the debris. You've matched trajectory with the debris field, and you're sweeping it and stuff. There's nothing of consequence in here, best you can tell. There are no rare compounds. Whatever blew this thing way the heck up, into its component parts. Except for one thing. There is a particularly large piece of debris that's kind of spinning in this big cloud. and you kind of roll tape on it and wait till it kind of whips around such that you can see it. There's writing on it.
I try to land on it.
Yeah, so this is a fairly big piece. It's everything else are like bits of things the size of golf balls or smaller, but looks like a whole hull plate that's just kind of whipping around. Let's give you this is going to be a feelings roll because it is incredibly dangerous and reckless to try to land on a rapidly speeding piece of space debris that you could very easily just photograph. That said, you are very good at this as a soldier. You're used to having ice water and coolant in your veins. So this is going to be feelings, and I will give you 2 dice.
Both 4s.
All right, perfect. So full success. The this giant piece of debris is spinning, and so's the math wagon, and eventually you just kind of touch down on the surface.
Sunflower, this is call sign Sunman. I have landed.
Sunman, this is O'Darcy. What do you see?
I see writing.
Could you read it out loud to me?
It is upside down.
Do you have a mirror with you?
I do. Oh, yeah, I'll use the mirror. I use the mirror.
Sure, yeah. The mirror. You have a mirror, and you look, and you're looking through the cockpit. And for sake of cool visuals, you can't get a good image. So your pilot suit is a vac suit as well. So you blow the canopy lid, and you step out, and your mag boots engage, and you find yourself drifting through space on this large curved plank of composite metals. And you see scored into the side with some kind of laser torch is the phrase, "Too late, Sunflower. Captain Watch."
Captain Watch.
Yeah, just Captain Watch.
Captain Watch.
Captain Watch.
Envoy Woodstock, you know of Captain Watch. All of you do. But Envoy Woodstock, it is one of your many jobs as a diplomat, to keep your eye out and be prepared to engage with several of the sector's most intriguing and dangerous characters, including Captain Watch, the enigmatic captain of a ship called the Centennial.
It's the Centennial. They're at it again.
Oh no, that means this is probably the ship we need to rendezvous with.
That's right. Okay.
Zlobs, I have 2 things to say.
Yeah.
One, you should come back.
I'm in my ship. You have to use my call sign.
Fine. Sunman, I have 2 things to say. One, this person is dangerous. You should check out my dossier.
You never let me see your dossier.
I would let you see my dossier on them. Not on you, of course, but on them.
All right, that's fine. I'm on my way back.
Okay, and the second thing is I ate your burrito. I'm sorry.
I'm not coming back.
I'll make you a new one.
I'm sorry.
Sunman, I order you to come back.
Oh, right. Okay, Sunflower. Sunman coming back.
All right. And the math wagon lifts off, docks with the Sunflower, and the 3 of you, rendezvous in the ship's, command and control room, which is also the galley. So it's where you keep your meetings and also eat lunch. And Envoy Woodstock, what are 3 interesting things that you know about the enigmatic Captain Watch and or their ship, the Centennial?
The captain always carries with them, kind of like on their back, one of the meanest weapons that I've ever known, and that's how they kind of control things. Is they have a threatening weapon on them at all times. I also know that there's a very specific weakness when it comes to someone in our crew that isn't here. But unfortunately we don't have that pawn to play. Their ship is the oldest I've ever seen, but it's like that ship that they kept replacing parts
Theseus' ship?
Yeah, thank you.
Ah,
Theseus' ship.
is it even still the Centennial then?
I couldn't even say.
Well, hold on. It says Centennial on the side, so ergo it is. Checkmate logic.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But and we've had run-ins with them before.
Mm-hmm.
Where we've had conflicting interests, and we was sort of passive because we didn't want to get into a fight. But this seems like a direct attack. We were supposed to make contact with that envoy. I don't understand why it's blown to smithereens.
Yeah. So,
Whatever was
Envoy
on.
Woodstock lays this all out. And, as this is happening, the computer on board, which has like a long, super boring, set of numbers and codes, but you've just taken to calling the computer Mr. Mathers, is kind of laying out, it's like laying out pictures and stuff. The Centennial, so there's, images of the Centennial up, and this thing is, this is old League design. This thing clearly used to be a sublight freighter that was meant to haul stuff slower than light speed way back, but it's been upgraded so many times. It's an enormous ship, which is kind of the issue. So there's that, and then you also see the pictures of Captain Watch, who even under their like pressure helmet, which they do not take off, still cuts like a dashing figure carrying this giant rail gun on their back. And it's interesting because Captain Watch is simultaneously the best way to describe Captain Watch would be a rogue captain. Sometimes you're the League business you're on and their business works out. Sometimes it very much does not. So Captain Watch is one of those people where a million folks would say they're a hero, and just as many would say they're a great villain. So that's where you're at. But yeah, what you're all able to piece together is that Captain Watch blew up that uncrewed drone and took Umpire.
Guess we gotta predict where Captain Watch would go next. Or lure Captain Watch in.
Yeah, some sort of thing they could not resist. Who's the nearest sector? Is it the Harvard constellation?
Yeah, Harvard. It's a it's a constellation, and the stars are close enough together that it creates like really weird magnetic effects. So it's certainly a very interesting place. All kinds of fun stuff there. Abandoned asteroid mining platforms, an abandoned League starbase, a failed colony deep in an ice crevasse of one of the moons of one of the planets. All kinds of cool stuff in the Harvard constellation.
Do you think I could read their dossier and sort of triangulate a way to attract them to the Harvard station?
Yeah, I think you could. So this will be I'm going to say this is a lasers roll. This is, you kind of taking the time being analytical with it. So I will say that this is something you're good at. I will also say, well, I'll put it to you this way. Time is of the essence, so you probably don't have a lot of time to prepare. You're kind of doing it now. So I'll give you your base die and then just one more. So 2 total.
Okay. Snake eyes.
Oh, that's good.
Yay.
Yeah, that's about as good as good could be. So this is a full success. You are able to, well, I'll put it to you this way. Do you want to, do you, the player, want to create the reason that you can get Captain Watch to the Harvard sector, or do you want me, the GM, to do it?
I think I could do something really quickly.
Heck yeah! What do you want to do?
All right. So, as the aforementioned a weakness earlier, I know very specifically a crew member on our ship that the second that we throw out any communication from them to Captain Watch, we'll see Captain Watch in a matter of less than an hour.
Who is it?
What? Yeah.
That would be Rebecca Martinez on the lower side.
When we say communication, Envoy Woodstock, what kind? Does it need to be a specific kind of communication?
I can send you the appropriate channels, but you'll need to send a beacon. That does mean it could attract other attention, but we'll want to direct it straight to Captain Watch.
Oh, I love attention.
Okay.
So the story is essentially Captain Watch has some kind of relationship or camaraderie or rivalry or something else entirely with a former crew member of the Sunflower, Rebecca Martinez.
Right. That was our old captain.
Indeed, yeah. Rebecca Martinez got a promotion. Kind of lost touch with her.
Admiral Martinez.
Martinez now. But yeah, your former captain had some kind of relationship, whether it was professional or otherwise, with Captain Watch.
I heard they kept dueling.
Yeah.
So
really, all you need to do, according to Envoy Woodstock, is just essentially kind of spoof a communication out into the world from the former Captain Martinez.
Okay, well, Envoy Woodstock, if you give me the language, I can send that beacon out right away.
What's up? It's already on your desk.
Nice.
No, it's right
Whoa!
here.
Whoa! Whoa!
How do you do that?
Envoy Woodstock's good.
I'm good.
Goodness.
So,
okay.
Pilot, this one's up to you. Where do you want the rendezvous with Captain Watch and the Centennial to take place? Do you want it to be in space in the Harvard sector? Do you want it to be on an ice planet, or in an abandoned starbase, somewhere else entirely?
An abandoned starbase, because I think we're going to have them meet in the abandoned starbase. That seems plausible, and it means that we can get potentially some extra supplies if we need them.
Is that
Gotcha.
Is that the one that just covered does like vines and like ivy all over it?
Yeah, that's right.
That place
That's
is
right.
cool.
Yeah, Ivy Base, an old League research lab, and it's in low orbit over this huge bloated gas giant. Do you want So you want the rendezvous to happen on the station?
It's the gas giant's name is Bloat Masters.
It sends out sometimes little puffs of methane.
It does. It's even in space, it is stinky. So yeah, Ivy Base is in low orbit of this giant, gassy gas giant,
bloated gas giant.
And yeah, so Darby, you kind of send the ping. It's a relatively like banal communique, but yeah, you're pretty sure it's going to have its intended effect. And so you make the jump to bend space, which is as fast as the ship can go, and you kind of pop up outside of Ivy Base and dock there. Ivy Base is abandoned, but this is good old League technology, so systems are still functioning on board. But you create like a seal against one of the entry ports, open the doors, and you walk down this long corridor. This clearly was like a science facility. There wasn't too much of a civilian presence, so it's not like you're seeing abandoned shops and like abandoned welcome signs. It's really more along the lines of just everything here is mostly abandoned, picked over by scavengers, cargo droids, labs that used to have high quality tech. There's probably still some stuff in here. If you think the getting's good and you had some time to like work your way through the systems and get to some cool deep tech, but you more or less just find kind of the big atrium in the middle that is a combination of like food hydroponics and a place for people on the station to just go. So you all go and you're all armed and you're in like pressure suits and stuff, and you're just kind of waiting. You have Mr. Mathers patched into Ivy Base's communications, and you hear Mr. Mathers' voice, pop up on Ivy Base speakers. Hello, Sunflowers.
Hey,
Mr. Mathers.
That computer.
We have an unidentified ship coming in. Oh, I have identified it. It is the Centennial, former sublight freighter.
Give it permission to land.
Will do. And you hear there's still some like lingering atmosphere in here because like a couple of the atmospheric processors are probably still on. So because of that, sound carries enough that you can hear one of the pressure doors opening, like elsewhere in the facility. And sure enough, walking through and Envoy, Zlobs, Darby, like all of you are just kind of like lined up and waiting for whoever is going to come through that door to come through that door. And indeed, coming through that door is unmistakably Captain Watch, who is definitely tall for her age, flanked by half a dozen crew wearing like kind of patchwork scavenger armor. Captain Watch's rail gun is still across her back, and she looks at all of you, and you hear her voice coming through the speakers on her helmet. Zlobs, Darby, Envoy Morgan Woodstock. Yet no captain. Where is your esteemed commander?
Sounds like you didn't know that she's an admiral now.
I heard rumors, but I didn't expect her to abandon the captain's chair of an interstellar scout ship. That's where all the action is, out on the frayed edges of things.
It's very interesting that you're here. We were just checking out the Ivy, and along comes old Captain Watch. Very interesting.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen my old friend Captain Martinez. And even though I did admittedly just take something from you, I thought maybe she wanted to call me here to negotiate.
Oh, so you admit it?
Of course I do.
Oh yeah, it was written on the thing.
You're also outnumbered 2-1 by people in heavy armor with weapons, so I will admit to whatever you want.
Wait, is that a threat?
Yes.
Oh.
But why? Why? What motivated you to destroy our drone?
Well, it's not yours, first and foremost. That's a League drone, and it was uncrewed, so I didn't mind blowing it out of the sky. I wanted what was on board. I wanted Umpire.
For yourself?
No, not for myself. What am I going to do with that kind of tech?
Who's your client, then?
Well, why do you expect me to tell you that?
Because I have this room completely rigged up with plasma grenades. And
That's right.
tell me honestly, that am I sane enough to not do that, Captain Watch?
All right, that's going to be a feelings roll. You're just full on bluffing here. I'll give you one die. This will spur of the moment.
6.
Sure, that works.
I mean, I would definitely have.
So here's how it works. Captain Watch. So this is essentially a partial success. So Captain Watch will tell you what you want, but Captain Watch first wants you to take off your helmets.
In his low atmosphere?
Captain Watch starts taking off her own.
Ugh.
Now we can talk as friends. That is, of course, Susie Chen.
Mm-hmm.
I was here to steal tech, which I did, to deliver it to a researcher with a very promising future named Fauner Bachman.
This is what happens when you're self-funded. Just get back in the league.
No.
That's
I
fair.
left for good reason. Envoy Woodstock can tell you all about it.
Yeah, I didn't share that part of the dossier.
You want to share part of the dossier? Dossier? Dossel?
Dosser?
The Dosser?
The Dosser
I only
doodle.
shared part of the dossier.
It's made of doodles.
Yes. Which should explain everything, but I only showed a sheet.
But there's another side.
That's right. And I'm sorry I didn't share it. All my information is on a need-to-know basis.
But we needed to know!
Well, now we need to know.
Ugh.
We didn't
Sorry.
need to know then. Fine. Captain Watch. Captain Watch. Do you remember that mission? Do you remember that mission in the Watchtower? Where we released all of those union workers? Well, as it turns out, those union workers were funding Captain Watch. And yeah, and they were it was like slightly iffy, and we definitely did a good thing, but we completely eroded their economy. After that, they were no longer the same. The league ejected them shortly after. I didn't agree with that move, and I guess, Captain, I guess we're responsible for your current situation in a certain way.
The irony, of course, is that Captain Martinez was also there, and now she's apparently an admiral. The League was looking for someone to blame, and they blamed me and my crew.
Ooh, it's kind of awkward.
But
we're just out here on the edge of things, trying to make do. The umpire's one heck of a payday if I get it to Fauner Bachman.
Oh, you still have it?
Of course, we're talking amongst friends here.
Great. I run off to get to get to the math wagon. Ha!
He just really has to pee.
What? So you're okay. With that, Captain Watch kind of looks at all of you. Well, I guess we're going to do it this way then. The Centennial has some upgrades, you know.
I'm sorry it had to be this way.
I know you are, Envoy. And she spins on her heels and heads. I mean, the question is, of course, where do you want to do this thing? On the space station with guns, or in space combat outside the station?
I have a preference. Can I use my ship to go through the hallways of the space station to do this thing?
Good heavens. Sure.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So,
It's think of Battlestar Galactica, and the Math Wagon is basically looks like a Viper.
yeah. No, I had a feeling.
So it's like big. It's like not huge.
Yeah. So, like you have this kind of friendly-ish tete-a-tete, and then Zlobs like goes wide-eyed and sprints off. And at that point, Captain Watch, puts on like her crew starts like raising their laser rifles, and they all start backing out into the ship. So yeah, Darby and Morgan, the two of you start kind of sprinting back to the Sunflower, because essentially now that the parlay is over, your guess is that the Centennial will eventually, when their captain's back on board, will separate from the station, power up its deck guns, and blow the Sunflower's engines.
That's not good.
If you're lucky. Hopefully they don't target life support. So yeah, the way to stop that from happening, though, is for Zlobs to sprint all the way back to the Sunflower first, get in the Math Wagon, and then fly it through Ivy Base. So let's see if that happens.
All right, I'm
going to give you one die for this. This is something you're good at because it's bonkers. So I'll give you 2 dice. Definitely a feelings roll. So give me 2 dice. Roll high. Good luck.
Thank you. 3 and 5.
3 and a 5. All right, that's a success. So you, Darby and Morgan, the two of you are like sprinting back to the ship. You're like both like shouting commands to Mr. Mathers to spin up your interceptor cannons and power up the shields and adjust the preset in your flight chair. And so
including hot dog.
Including hot dog. So
hot dog in the armrest.
Yep.
It rises through.
It opens up, and Darby, you hop into the pilot's chair. Morgan, you grab the engineering console, and just as that's happening, you see the you're looking, and you see like the bay door of the Sunflower open, the Math Wagon like fly out, blow a hole in the side of Ivy Base, and just shoot in. So you're in here now. You are flying through like the main cargo hallway, like trying to just really fly through the base to get to the Centennial. So 2 successes is as full of successes as you need. So what do you want to do, essentially? Do you want to intercept Captain Watch before she gets back to her ship? Do you want to get to the Sentinel before Captain Watch does? What do you want to do?
That's the one. I want to get into the ship.
Gotcha.
With my ship before they get back.
So do you want to are you doing it via blowing a hole or going through like a bay door?
Going through a bay door.
Gotcha.
So
the Centennial is... What's that?
I wouldn't blow a hole in it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, Captain Watch, you think may still be a good person driven to do some tough things. But yeah, you kind of, so you like take off, you're flying through the base like a car through a mall, and, shoot out the other side. You see, actually, like as you're flying, you see in like a little like a person tunnel next to the cargo tunnel, you see Captain Watch like looking at you as you fly by. She like pulls the railgun off her shoulder and aims, and then is just like, and she gets off one shot. She was trying to fade the shot to hit your engines and not you. And she ends up missing, burns a hole in some random panel somewhere. And yeah, you kind of rocket out the other side. The Centennial, my God, this thing is big. It looks like a giant medicine pill. Like it's this big kind of structure like this with all nodules all over it. And yeah, there's a bay door in the back that is, because this thing used to be an old cargo hauler. and that bay door is simultaneously like a loading bay and also you're pretty sure like a fighter hangar. So just real quick, you like put in like a permission to open doors code, and somehow that works, and the doors like slowly slide open. So yeah, you are now inside the Centennial's hangar, such as it is, and this thing is big.
Sunflower, this is Sunman. I have entered the Centennial. Where am I going? I had not thought this far.
Sunman, this is O'Darcy. We just need you to
use your call sign.
Oh, this is Firesword. I always like saying that.
It's fun,
okay.
Right?
Okay, so based on the schematics we have of the Centennial in the latest dossier, the Doodle Dossier, you need to go. I'm guessing that the umpire is probably held in their armory, and so that's going to be
which one? There's like 3 of them.
There's so many.
There's so many armories, so many nodules.
Probably on the starboard side. I think that's the one with the most well-maintained defensive shields.
Starboard, larboard, aft.
I only know I don't know how to describe it. I just know I feel it.
So let's let the dice tell us how good this all is, how good your schematics are, how good the explanation was to Zlobs, who is breathing heavy and like blowing the cockpit open. So this is going to be 1 die. I'm going to say this is a feelings roll. So you're going to want to roll high on this one.
2.
Okay. So, you're saying this as you're, like blowing the pressure seals and like separating the Sunflower from Ivy Base, and you kind of head up over the top. And you see, like Ivy Base. So from both of your perspectives on the Sunflower, you see Ivy Base, which could, best be described as like a big flat snowflake in space. And on the other side of it, practically the size of Ivy Base is this giant pill of a ship. It's probably 10 times your mass. And so you kind of head up, and
that's a factor of 10.
Envoy Woodstock, you're starting to see all sorts of like alerts and alarms start popping on, like missile lock, target reticle lock, and all of these things. And so you are like explaining all of this to Zlobs, and Zlobs is like taking off through the hangar when Morgan, all of a sudden you start seeing a cluster of spike missiles just like launch and fire towards the Sunflower. So there's like half a dozen missiles that are now like flying at 15 times the speed of sound, heading towards you on an intercept of like 2 seconds from now.
I'm going to put all the power towards the shields, and then I'm going to head straight to the breakers because I know how they go on the fritz right at this moment.
Yes, indeed. And so you kind of like all power to the shields, and you get up and you start sprinting down to the power control station just as the console you're at explodes. The Sunflower, like the shields take most of the hit, but this thing really has, finicky circuit breakers, and so panels are now just like exploding all over the ship. There are hoses spraying stuff everywhere.
I want to point out,
oh dear, oh my goodness, uh-oh.
I just want to point out that the chat voted 7-0 on horrible circuit breakers.
Yeah,
Thank you, chat.
It's what that means is pretty much everything on this chip just explodes. It just explodes.
Just sparks everywhere.
Just so yeah, Morgan, you're like running through a cascade of sparks in slow motion towards the camera, and like you get to the power station, you're starting to reroute power like an old switchboard. Zlobs, you're on the Centennial, sprinting best you can tell towards what your pilot told you was the armory. So let's give you a roll for this one here. See what happens.
Oh, sprinting? I'm still on my ship.
Oh, you are. Oh,
yeah. I didn't leave the ship.
Very wise. So yeah, you're in the.
Hold on,
kind of
is
in
it? Is it wise?
So this thing, you're flying this thing essentially.
I'm crashing, and it's like boop, outside, boop, 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 boop.
What's funny is there are a bunch of crew on board with like laser rifles, and like they're all like along like the gangplanks around the giant cargo hold that you're in, and they're looking and they're like talking to each other. It's like, do we shoot him? Well, this wouldn't do anything. We gotta shoot him, right? I'm shooting him. And so there are like 2 or 3 people that are like starting to ping your ship with like laser blasts. And you know, the math wagon's a decently armored light fighter, so you know it's just like scoring off the paint and stuff.
Ow.
But yeah, let's have you roll. I will make this be because you are trying to like interpret directions to a place. So I'm going to say that this is a lasers roll. I'll give you 1 die.
All right. We got a 3.
Okay. So your choice, Zlobs. I'm going to give you 3 options. So pick whichever 2 you want. The sunflower takes another round of fire. The math wagon loses either weapons or life support, your choice. Or you have to blow some stuff up on this ship.
All right. Well, you know option 3 already. Oh, great. Okay. So yeah, I need to blow stuff up, but also my weapons go down.
Gotcha. So you you're, and that's the thing is like Captain Watch is so cool, and like the Centennials, like you don't want to blow them up, but they did steal from you, and they're very conflicted. And at that point, you're just like pop open the safeties on your blasters and just like drain the batteries. So it's just like and you're like blowing chunks out of the cargo hold, and you're widening some doorways, and you know a bunch of the crew on board are like diving out of the way.
It's called building infrastructure.
Yeah, a couple of them start running towards like another hallway that has like this big red X on the door, and they kind of run, and they both like put handprints, and the door opens, and they run in. But yeah, like there's stuff on fire in here now, and you know the rest of the crew are like taking cover. Yeah, your ship is now out of juice for its guns, but you think you are flying to whichever hatch leads to the armory at this point.
I'm just flying. Like I gave up on instructions. I'll just go.
Yeah. So let's jump back to the sunflower here. So the sunflower, you are now like kind of whipping through space, and it's not like you can retreat because Zlobs is on the Centennial, but you are trying to avoid fire. So what is your plan for staying alive long enough for Zlobs to grab the umpire?
This is the plan. Zlobs is on the Centennial, so the sunflower is going to be on the Centennial. I am landing this ship so close they can't fire on us.
Nice. I will give that is definitely a feelings roll. I will give you +1 because you are very good you're a good pilot and you're piloting. So that's 2 dice. That's feelings. So you're going to want to roll high.
A 1 and a 3.
Okay, so that's a partial success, such as it is. But the 3 means you do have a laser feelings, which means you can ask me a question, and you can ask it before you land on the Centennial or after, your choice.
Where where is the umpire stored? Where are they
So
keeping it?
the umpire is in point of fact. Well, actually, I'll leave that up to you. Is the umpire stored in the armory or is it stored somewhere else?
Oh yeah, it's in the armory.
Gotcha. It's in the armory. So you,
Which one?
Yeah, you kind of bank up like through the like the snowflake structure of the structure of the of Ivy Base. You know, like banking missiles are kind of like arcing through the air. Oop.
Oh, the stream might be down.
It doesn't indicate that on my end. Oh,
there was a network error.
That's weird.
Yeah, it looks down on my end too.
Weird. Oh, I think it's back up. I think it is because usually I get indication on StreamYard when something goes down.
It currently shows the Sports Hub is offline right now.
Oh, I think we're live again.
I think we might be live again. I certainly see us again.
Well, that was weird.
Stream is back. Here we go.
All right,
Stream
anyway,
is back, ready to land. Okay.
Right.
Chat, you have missed nothing.
Baby.
We are ready. We are back. So we have a we kind of have like a cut scene here of Captain Watch is on the deck of the Centennial and she's screaming out orders. Target the shield generators and target their engines. We don't want to kill them. We just want to stop them. And then like the gunner on the ship is like, we could, but that's one heck of a pilot on that ship. Quick cut to Darby on the Sunflower, like banking the ship like through the superstructure of Ivy Base.
Eating hot dogs.
Like meanwhile, we cut to Envoy Woodstock in the power core, like literally like throwing buckets of ice water on the generators to try to stop them from overheating. Whereas Zlobs is trying to parallel park his fighter, between ruins and debris. And suddenly, like Zlobs, you look back towards space through the open door, and you just see like the whole Sunflower come into view. And there is now a Mr. Mathers, points a laser sight exactly at the hatch where the umpire is stored. So Zlobs, it is now very clear where it is. You can maneuver your ship directly over it, but you obviously can't squeeze your ship through a hatch. So if you want the umpire, you're going to have to get out.
I get out.
Summon, am I gonna have to come down there?
I'm outside my ship. You can't use my call sign.
Okay.
No, you can still talk to me. Oh.
Okay. Well, you're outside your ship, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah, I'm outside my ship.
Okay, get the umpire and get back here.
What's my name?
Zlobs.
That's me. Okay, I jump in the hole.
All right, you jump in the hole. This is going to be, I'm going to have you roll for it because you're going to essentially jump into an armory and try to find something that you don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say it is a feelings roll because this is just happening super quick, but you only get one die.
That's fair. It's fair. 2.
Oh,
laser feelings.
Laser feelings. So you do indeed find the umpire, but before we go any further, let's ask a question. What would you like to know?
What's the secret of Mindy's? The secret about Mindy.
What?
Wow.
Like where is she right now?
Sure. In the back of your mind, Zlob, right now, that the plans that Nana Mathers has for Mindy have expanded to include all of you.
Whoa!
Back to the Romp. You set like a shape charge against the hatch and blow the lock and like dive into the hatch. And there's all kinds of crazy stuff down here. Like weird, like a bunch of super old weaponry, and you're pretty sure that's that's like a fuel air spike. That's like they have like ground bombardment stuff in here, all kinds of bad stuff.
Good stuff.
Looks like military surplus. And then
I imagine every time I go to do thing, I'm like, oh, I want this. I take it. I go to do things. No, I want this. So I'm like constantly like leveling up on my arsenal.
Yeah, you are constantly like, it's like, okay, that is a war crime. I can't take that. But this, though, that'll explode if I clap my hands. Like one of those and one of these. And, you like across your back is like a battle drone. And so, you're rummaging and running through there. And yeah, you see something that is the only thing in here that's not like covered in a layer of dust, which is like a box that's sealed up and has like a GPS, like a galactic plan, a galactic positioning system on it, and like a bunch of league script. And yeah, that's got to be umpire. So you pick that up.
Huh.
The partial success, though, is the fact that that big door with the X on it opens again, and emerging is a that is so the droid. Zlobs, you can't see this; you're still in the hole. But the droid that Zlobs has across his back is this like small sphere. It's about the size of a watermelon that can kind of come apart and turn into like a little fighting crab, more or less. There is one the size of a mid-sized sedan walking out of that door and pointing itself at, it's bristling with weapons. It's got a rail gun in each arm. And yeah, it's training its sights on the math wagon and the sunflower. So, Darby or Morgan, do either of you have any ideas about what to do to stop this this walking defense tank from blowing a hole in something important?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have some of the ivy from Ivy Base that we snipped and brought with us because that stuff is powerful.
Yeah.
So my plan is I'm getting out of the ship, going down there, and just lassoing this thing with that ivy because it'll just crush it.
Sure. Yeah. It's Ivy Base was built for because the League thought it could weaponize plant life. And the fact that this, Ivy Base has been like abandoned for years, and they thought they destroyed all the ivy in there, and the fact that it's still growing is a testament how powerful this ivy is. So yeah, Darby, you kind of like run out the hatch and kind of drop down and start sprinting towards this thing. So we're gonna have you make a roll. This is gonna be a feelings roll. I'm gonna give you one die because you're an exceptional pilot, but maybe not the best lassoer. So it's just one die, and we'll see how it goes.
A 6.
Hey, not bad. Partial success. So so what happens is I'm going to give you a choice. Before you get to this crab tank, it's either going to take a shot at the sunflower or take a shot at the math wagon. If it takes a shot at the math wagon will explode. So your choice. It's going to be up to Morgan to try to figure out what to do based on what you say.
It's going to take a shot at the sunflower.
Gotcha. So, Morgan, you are in the power station, and Mr. Mathers starts talking to you. Envoy Woodstock, there is a railgun that is targeting us. Our shields cannot survive another hit, especially in this hangar.
All right. Then I'm going to initiate the Archibald protocol.
I am programmed to ask one more time, are you sure that's what you want to do?
I am sure. Do the Archibald protocol.
Archibald protocol engaged. Morgan, do you want to describe it, or should I?
I got a weird idea.
I love it. Let's hear it.
So all of the thrusters on this ship, all the thrusters on the ship are typically on the back. However, there are some specifically for taking off and for landing.
Mm-hmm.
And those are on the bottom. So I just have to rotate the ship and then throw on those blasters, and the entire ship below me will be rocked to kingdom come. If I say the Archibald protocol, Fire Sword and Sunman know they have to hold on to something.
Yep. And with the grace of a penguin trying to take flight, the Archibald protocol is initiated. So the way it works is, essentially you're in this giant cave of a hangar. At the front of the cave, like where space is the sunflower. Further in is a bunch of debris and the math wagon, and a giant crab, and also Zlobs in a hole, and also Darby running with a lasso. All of those things are happening this way. And so the second you hear Archibald protocol, Zlobs, you duck back into the bunk, you dunk back into the armory room. Darby, you hit the ground, and the giant crab tank just kind of like pops up. And in the command center, Captain Watch, who is, looking at the battle through like the crab tank's eyes, sees on a screen, Captain, this is Crab Tank. What is Archibald protocol? And before Captain Watch can say anything, the entire back of the Centennial like rocks like a tuning fork when all of the Sunflower's maneuvering thrusters kick on at the same time. The railgun shot from the crab goes wide and hits a perfectly round 1-inch diameter hole through the entire ship and about 10,000 miles into space beyond it. So, thankfully you didn't have to deal with that on the Sunflower. This has given Darby just enough time to run up to the crab tank and cover the whole thing in ivy. Like, you end up kind of lassoing it. One of its railgun arms is like jammed up under its like crab head, and the other one you end up kind of like hog tying. The ivy itself is starting to constrict on its own. This is like rodeo trick stuff. And like, Darby, you're pretty sure like it's starting to tighten on its own. You realize you've got a couple feet of its left. It's starting to tighten around your arm, and you're like, nope.
Use a knife to get it off of me.
And
a big knife.
A big knife.
Yeah, a former crew member of yours left you a big knife.
Big knife.
You draw a big knife and kind of slice it off the arm, and you kind of turn and run. Zlobs is now sprinting back to the math wagon.
I pop open the coverage, like, Darby, get in. Before I get in, I go up to the ivy thing. I take one of the missiles that I took with me, and I put it into the ivy, and the ivy grabs onto it.
Boop, boop.
Oh no! This is the special one. I go as soon as the hatch of my the thing comes down. I go, and then that's the one that claps. Boom.
So we see, in the distance, the Centennial still near Ivy Base. The Sunflower flying away, Morgan at the helm, immediately followed by the math wagon with Darby and Zlobs each holding like half the stick.
I
want to fight.
I'll get there faster.
Okay.
Back on the Centennial, Captain Watch, is kind of looking at the footage and seeing the crab tank explode and the umpire gets stolen. I thought they were made of glass. She kind of turns and storms off. Starbase Dugout, the local seat of power for the League. A big, gleaming layer cake in space. The Sunflower kind of limps in on, with damage and battle scoring. the math wagon would normally be like flying in like kind of an honor guard near it, but no, that's just going to stay in the hangar because it's pretty banged up too.
Yeah.
And you hear kind of popping on. Attention, we have your designation as Sunflower, but it appears that you have sustained battle damage. If there is an envoy on board, please submit the password so that we know you are not under duress.
Go past the max.
Confirmed. Welcome, Sunflower. Welcome, Envoy Woodstock. You're cleared to land at Hangar Bay 4. Wheels down. It all closes, and you are quickly like ushered by the League Space Office of Tactical Interventions to the Admiral on the Admiral of the Station's quarters.
Renardtron. Good to see you.
Likewise, Zlobs, the pleasure is mine. And so you start walking through kind of a hallway through like League headquarters, and there are civilian people are typing stuff on futuristic pads. Everyone's nodding at you. You're carrying the umpire in a box, and you walk into like the command pillar of this giant base, and there was a and you're heading to like the Admiral's chambers, or like the Admiral's essentially entertaining wing where like the Admiral has dignitaries. And it looks like there was a name on the door, but like a new temporary sign has been affixed to it. Admiral Martinez. And the door opens up, and standing inside is your former captain. Apparently, this is where she ended up. She's Admiral of the Station, Starbait's dugout.
Coach.
Hello, Sunflowers. It's so good to see all of you.
We miss you, you know that?
I know, but you know what? Let's all huddle up for a second. Sometimes you're going to have your coach for a long time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes your coach needs to take a promotion and get planted on a starbase somewhere. But whether your coach is in the dugout with you, or whether your coach is actually on a starbase called dugout, just know that the real coach is right there.
Oh.
Thanks, Coach.
Do you have the umpire?
Of course we do.
Yeah.
We were coached right.
What's that?
We were coached right.
Yeah. So you hand it over. She opens it up, and inside is kind of like a thin, thin black pad that she like kind of takes and turns on and slides into a dock in like one of the computer consoles in this room. And you see like a little load screen going like boop, 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 bing. Next generation starbase defense. The League is stronger because you're in it.
Oh.
Go
Coach.
Sunflowers.
Go Sunflowers.
Sunflowers.
And with that, everything goes black. And you pull the VR headsets off. Jess, who is sitting there with a keyboard looking, well, how was it?
Can we play again?
Yeah. So I'm
was...
sorry I ate your burrito in VR.
Yeah, that was mean. That was really mean.
It wasn't real. Oh, you know what? I want to play again, but Jess, I have one request.
Yeah.
Can you be the envoy this time?
You'll be such a good envoy.
Such a good envoy.
Let's do it.
What a wholesome. What a blast.
Yeah.
What a romp.
Oh,
I'm glad we had a romp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Take that, Kayleigh.
Epilogue.
Oh no! Oh no! Is the romp over?
It's still Little League.
Pizza is delivered and the rest of the team arrives. The end.